right now. The Sixers president of business operations, Chris Heck, joins us here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline on 97.3 ESPN. Welcome back, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. It's got to be an exciting time, especially with all the announcements you guys have going on, but just the team, the organization as a whole. There's got to be a lot of excitement that maybe, there was a lot of excitement entering the year, but has it exceeded where you thought it would be?
You know what? I think that everything is kind of on the right path, on timing. We've been doing this for about 5 years, and we planned it out pretty well. On the basketball court, I think Brian Colangelo maybe pushed us a little bit further than we expected. So, who would have thought 5 years ago that Brett Brown would be being the coach that he is? And who would have thought that we would be talking about a 50-game win team, a couple years into this whole process, if you will.
Right. I mean, really, we talked about this earlier, that this is really the first year that you guys kind of set out to say, all right, we want to win. We want to make the playoffs. That's the goal. We're vocal about it. And to be in the position that you are in just the first year of this, I say, where is this team going to be 2, 3, 4 years down the road?
Right. I got just laughing because I remember the conversation where, we need to really tell the fans that we expect to be in the playoffs this year. And you had a few people in the room that had their eyebrows up a little bit after, these are people that spent the 10-win season together, which wasn't so long ago. But you know what? It's awesome. I love that Brett and Brian put their money where their mouth is, and they backed it up, and we've been very transparent. And it's been awesome. It is an absolute thrill to go to our games, to watch our games, to listen to our games. And we're really grateful that we're on target. This is an awesome time.
Now, Chris, one of the things over the 5 years of pretty tough times and tough seasons, player development was always something that was thrown to the forefront. And you guys made an announcement today that kind of shows that you are going to stay on the path with player development, rebranding the 87ers. They are now going to be known as the Blue Coats. And with that, they're going to be unveiling a new facility and all sorts of stuff for the people of Delaware.
Yeah, it's cool. I actually live in Delaware, and that's not the reason we're there, but I do get it. I get Delaware. Much like South Jersey, what we did with our training complex is we extended the brand, right? So the touch points of Greater Philadelphia are now in place with South Jersey, with, of course, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, and now in Delaware, too, in a way that we're proud of it. And this does have a goal. It's not just to spread out the 76ers, which is part of the goal, but this is about us being an elite NBA team and doing all the things, all the small things that matter in the big picture in the long run. When we started a few years ago, we were in the worst training facility in the league, right? And then we were not thought of how do we extend things? How do we maximize our performance for not only that day or that week of a game, but for the next 10 years? And that I give a lot of credit to Brian Colangelo and Scott O'Neil having the foresight to think about this long term.
Chris Heck is the Sixers president of business operations. Now, how much, is the league kind of re-looking at that G-League? It seems like they're putting some more importance and more emphasis on making that a more viable league with all the talk going on right now with what they should do with these college players and giving kids an option. I mean, putting some emphasis behind that league, it seems like you guys are putting the cart before the horse a little bit here.
Well, I think that, we're preparing for this to be something that changes, and it's a true feeder system.
Right.
They changed the rule this year for the first time. We had the two-way players that were up and down, and that absolutely mattered, right? So we had Emeka Okafor was on our team, and now the guy's a starter for the Pelicans in the same season. It's crazy. So it does matter. It is a real league. It is a feeder program. So can we actually do the health and wellness and strength and conditioning and even format of our style of play? Can we put that into place with our team in Delaware and actually enhance the opportunities for these younger players to play with the big club? And that's ultimately the goal.
Yeah, now talk a little bit about this new facility, the new field house here, which obviously is going to be a big game changer for your G-League roster, which was playing over at the University of Delaware. So now they'll have their own home, their own facility. So it's the opportunity to be able to work with those players longer and in a better facility is huge. But other people are going to use this facility as well, right?
Yeah, it is. It's actually going to be – it was created with the concept of being this, like, elite youth training complex where it's very aspirational for kids in, you know, whether they're grade school kids or high school kids or even college kids to play in this facility, whether it's lacrosse or soccer or basketball. That's what it's set up for. And inside this complex is a little arena that we are the anchor tenant for.
Huh.
So think about this. Like, if we're at the University of Delaware, you know, we're probably third in line behind the field hockey team and the men's water polo team in the weight room, right? Now all of a sudden we got our own place, and it's actually at the standards of an NBA facility, and that has come a long way in a short time. So it's most welcome.
Now, Chris, you guys rebranded the team as well from the 87ers to the Delaware Blue Coats. And, you know, as I've read a lot today, that the 87ers name you said was a little confusing and, you know, people weren't sure what the heck you guys were really talking about. So the whole rebranding thing to you know, the Blue Coats, how did you guys come up with that? Yeah,
it's funny you say that. I'll never forget a guy. I was at my kid's Little League baseball game, and a guy comes up to me and is like, "Oh, yeah, how's the 86ers doing?" And I'm like, "Good Lord, this is a problem." So we kind of stepped into this name when the group of us came in, and we didn't really have a choice. But now we're able to relaunch the brand with the new facility and the new location in Wilmington. But we wanted to be true and authentic to the 76ers brand, but also to the state of Delaware. And so we did our research, we did our homework on this, and you know, the last guy that signed the Declaration of Independence is a guy named Caesar Rodney, and he came from Delaware. And the story goes is that he rode through the state of Delaware to Philadelphia in a driving rain on a racing horse to cast the last vote, and we made our logo for Caesar Rodney, and he was the general to this elite force that were called the Blue Coats out of Delaware. So it seemed logical to us, and we had a little bit of fun with it, and it is tied into the Declaration of Independence, which is obviously so important to our larger brand.
And the uniforms will have that same Sixers look with the blue and the red and the white accents, and that Blue Coats logo will be on there. You can start following them at Delaware Blue Coats on Instagram and Twitter to find out what's happening with them. And I know you can get tickets, Sixers.com/Bluecoats, or by calling 302-504-7587 for deposits for next season already, as this season's still on hand. I know you're a Nova guy, right?
Yes. Yeah, this is I'm in basketball bliss right now. I get to talk about destroying the 87ers name and celebrating Villanova going to the Final Four, which I'm flying out tomorrow to see. And then, of course, we got the hottest team in the NBA playing in Philadelphia tonight with the 76ers.
Crazy. Yeah,
so
I mean, this
right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this season has certainly, I think, exceeded many people's expectations, and everyone seems to be along for the ride. I know you guys were sold out virtually all season long, so to say, how has that changed everything? But it seems that the demand for everything has to be up.
It is, and it's like, it's just so great that, the Eagles win the Super Bowl, Villanova wins 2 years ago and has a chance to win it again. And, we're on our way to great success down for many years. And it's awesome for Philadelphia, and it's awesome to be a part of this run. And, we're very grateful, and we love what's happening with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and now Markelle Fultz, and it's great. It's just a pleasure to be a part of the organization.
If Villanova wins, I'm going to win my bracket, so I will be pulling for them. But I am a West Virginia grad, and I was not happy the way that game was officiated the other night.
It's funny. I have a son that's on. My oldest son is on the Villanova team. He's a walk-on the team.
Nice.
And so now I get the eyes for the perspective of the parent. And that game was pretty brutal. I love Bob Huggins, but not when he plays our Villanova Wildcats. And so that was a little rough one, but they got through it. The team is they're as good a college basketball team as I've ever seen, and I do feel I've certainly seen them a lot. But let's hope they are cutting the nets down. And just about everyone in my household has them winning the bracket. I'm not going to tell you which one doesn't.
All right.
But, somebody was trying to be superstitious, not trying to jinx them.
Well, that's kind of what I did. I picked Villanova to beat West Virginia, figuring if West Virginia lost, at least I might make a couple bucks on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You got to even out. You hedge your bets, right?
Yes. Chris Heck, the 76ers president of business operations. Check out the Blue Coats and Sixers.com/Blue Coats. They're opening up the new name, the new facility. They introduced the new G-League brand identity today, and it's going to really that building should be a big game changer in the continuing development of the player development for the organization, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's you talk about like the demand and the groundswell that's happening. We are sold out for every game. We're actually sold out for every game next year too. And but more and more people are tuning in to hear Tom McGinnis on your station, and it's awesome having you guys being such a huge part of the growth and the popularity of the 76ers. And it is a good time to be a Philly sports fan.
No doubt. And, Chris, we talked about the playoffs on the 14th is when it starts. Hopefully you'll have a home game, which just makes it even more exciting on that first Saturday of the NBA playoffs. And we always appreciate you jumping on board. And we'll talk to you soon, pal.
All right. You guys are the best.